When the Bulldogs made mistakes in their defensive third, the Gamecocks were quick to pounce and create something of those mistakes. So you definitely can't give them those opportunities.
The other streak on the line is the home winning streak that the Bulldogs have. They have not lost a home match yet in 2018. State trying to get back to 500 in conference play. Gamecocks trying to get to 2-0 and stay, here in the early going at least, atop the SEC standings. We'll flip the field. The Gamecocks now will be attacking to our left, the Bulldogs to our right. Second half is underway here in Starkville in front of a record home crowd here at the MSU soccer field. Over 1,400 fans in attendance tonight. A new single game record at the MSU soccer field. There you see the vast majority of them still around, hoping their Bulldogs can come back and get the equalizer here early in half number 2. McGilvery. Nice one-on-one battle right there.
And the referee seems to be like he's going to let these girls play and battle through some contact, because as we saw, there was a little bit of contact right there.
And that was McGilvery going up against Wark.
I think the two of them had each other.
Yeah, that was, I'm not sure an advantage was created either way, so the referee said let it go. Here in the opening minutes of the second half, possession has been handled by Mississippi State. You got to think that the longer this match goes on with the Gamecocks holding an advantage, at some point, either Waldner or McGilvery or maybe Coleman off the bench, someone will have to provide a spark and maybe make a single individual play to get the Bulldogs the equalizer and maybe change momentum some.
Yeah, they'll definitely have to find something special to put together to even this match up. Or I'm sure as the time goes on, I'm sure Coach Anagnos will think about pushing one of their 4 defensive players more into the attack. But there's a lot of time between now and then.
South Carolina, very good. Both these teams very good defensively. We knew that coming in. But both teams also have put up good offensive numbers this season. My point being, the Gamecocks probably will be not content with a 1-goal advantage, but certainly the later we get into this one, the Gamecocks will probably shift to a more defensive mentality. The Bulldogs will have to shift eventually, as you said, Christy, to a more offensive mentality. And
really, the Bulldogs haven't been able to get in behind the Gamecocks yet. The best opportunity they created was Nia Johnson, and that was a shot from out on top of the 18. There's McGilvery, some really nice footwork right there. She loves to take people on 1v1.
And fires one wide left.
And when you talk about what we're needing, the spark we're going to need a player. The Bulldogs are going to need a player that's going to put the defense on their heels. They're going to need to break pressure and get them out of their formation, and then look to slot a forward through.
McGilvery perhaps would have been better served to make a pass along the flanks.
And I would say I didn't see a lot of movement from the other forwards up top that really gave her something to look for. I think they were kind of all watching to see what she was going to do, and they can't do that. They need to make runs.
South Carolina trying to get one inside the 18, and the Bulldogs were there defensively. You mentioned at halftime, Christy, just very, very few clean chances for either side as the Gamecocks try to get one through, but DeCrane knocks it away.
We have someone still down in the box. Dutrain did a great job of stopping that shot. The ball kind of found.
Bounced off a couple of Gamecocks, and finally Barr
Yeah,
was able
Barr,
to
it
get a
just
foot on
landed
it.
at her. It landed at her foot, and she did her best with it. But Dutrain was up to the challenge.
That was one of the few times we've seen the Gamecocks put some traffic in front of the net and create multiple opportunities in the same situation.
I'll tell you the one thing, this referee is definitely letting some contact happen. So look for this game to get physical, and there you have McKee Drew, a PK inside the box.
We saw a penalty kick on this side of the field in the first half that went the way of the Gamecocks. Now can the Bulldogs get the equalizer as McKee gets knocked down from behind inside the 18. And the guilty party that time was Sarah Eskew, the sophomore from Centerville, Georgia.
McKee did a nice job of drawing that. I'm actually surprised with a lot of the physical play we've seen up until this point that he called that PK, but there was contact in the box, and McKee did go down.
Malden with a PK too high. Sends it over the top post, and it stays a 1-0 advantage for South Carolina. That was a moment there that both teams may look on later, Christy, and say that could have decided the game.
Yes, Malden's going to want that back. You can see right there from her reaction. That's tough. It's always really tough to miss a PK, but she's going to have to forget that it happened, bounce back, and be the player that she needs to be for this Bulldog team.
It appeared as if Krasowski guessed wrong in net. And Malden just simply got too much foot underneath the ball. So Gamecocks 1, Bulldogs 0. Score remains the same as it was at halftime. You and I have not seen a PK in a match that we've called this year. We've seen 2 of them now tonight. And another whistle and a foul called against South Carolina. This time the guilty party was Simone Wark. And the Crane will go out all the way almost to midfield to kick this one.
Just 8 minutes into the second half, and I feel like we've seen 2 great chances for both teams.
And neither one could cash in. The Bulldogs just do
and
get
another PK given.
Wow. Mississippi State draws another.
Brooke McKee draws another.
Brooke McKee again.
And obviously Grace Fisk feels like she is being a little wronged right here.
Boy, that one was tough. I couldn't really quite see. It is the London junior, Grace Fisk, who draws the PK, and Nia Johnson.
It's hard for players to figure out how physical a ref's going to let them be, and I think they're trying to sort through that right now.
Mississippi State gets the equalizer. Nia Johnson sends one in, and we're tied at 1. A PK for either side with 37:35 to go. We're knotted up at 1 here in Starkville.
Wow, I think Nia watched what you said about Krasowski in the first PK and said she's going to guess, and I'm just going to play it safe and simple down the middle.
Nia Johnson gets the equalizer. We saw her just miss a shot off the top crossbar in the first half. She made the most of her second opportunity. That is her 3rd goal of the season, and she now has 6 points on the year.
I tell you, I took some PKs during my career, and I never had the courage to do that right there. I've seen a number of people do it, but.
So the Bulldogs get the equalizer they were looking for in the first 10 minutes of half number 2. And now, Christy, in many ways, becomes a whole different ball game.
It absolutely does. We'll see if South Carolina starts to push a little bit more players up into the attack. And we'll see if the Bulldogs just kind of continue as they have. I mean, they were needing to tie this up. I don't know that they're going to be playing for a tie. I think they're probably going to go for it. Oh,
hard collision.
that was a very hard collision.
Both players slow to get up. That was Waldner for the Bulldogs. And for the Gamecocks, now getting up to her feet.
I tell you right there, that's just how hard these girls are working out there on that field. I'm really happy to see it's number 23.
That's Milazzo, yeah.
Milazzo, I'm really happy to see her up and walking away.
Milazzo and Waldner have been battling all night long. And we thought the first half was physical. My goodness.
I was going to say, I don't think the referee's going to give a third PK.
No. What are the odds of
maybe.
that? What are the odds?
I didn't think he was going to give number 2, but.
This is now my 4th year doing SEC soccer here on the SEC network, and I have not seen 3 PKs in one match. And that is what we have received so far tonight in what has been a wild and physical match here in Starkville.
And Tyrell looking to get the ball down and find feet. Nice ball into Waldner from Malden. And the Bulldogs with some nice possession leading into the final third.
Tyrell trying to cross it, I think, from McGilvery and send it in behind her.
But Carrasco gets to it. That young lady can run all day long.
McGilvery inside the 18, trying to send it back out for Johnson. And the Gamecocks able to get a foot on it.
I feel like this game is opening up a little bit. You can see back and forth, back and forth.
Perhaps a bit of a sense of urgency on both sides now that we didn't see in the first half. We have a whistle. And possession will go over to South Carolina. Well, the referees have certainly been involved in this one.
Yeah, I think I missed that offsides. I felt like there was a little bit of miscommunication amongst the South Carolina players, and it kind of dropped to the Bulldogs. But evidently she did come back from the offsides position.
That was the call. Whistle and a foul called against Mississippi State.
Carrasco with a pretty brave tackle right there. I would say at this point in time, you're going to want to make sure you're outside the 18-yard box.
Exactly. As I think the refs have made it clear, we're going to let you play to a certain degree outside the 18. Once you get inside the 18, we're going to call it super tight.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened. I feel like right before that first PK was called, he decided to tighten up the reins. I think he thought this game could either go two directions. And
and you had that situation over here in...
Oh, I think Grace Fisk
just got a yellow card. She sure did.
I do, and I'm not sure on that ball sent in. I actually felt like it might have gone off a Bulldog, which might have been what she was a little bit frustrated about.
She's been frustrated much of the second half. What happened is she said something earlier that drew the referee's ire, and probably, and Christy, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, I would imagine she got a warning earlier when she got a little bit into the face of the referee after that second
Yeah, I don't
penalty
think
was
she was not happy with the second PK call, and I don't know if the foul was on her or not. We have some action. Oh, wow.
South Carolina just missed an opportunity right there.
That was a beautiful ball played right in front. And 13.
Yeah, that was Wark.
Oh, she was so close to getting on the end of that. And really, if it would have hit any part of her body, that was going in the back of the net. Bulldogs pretty lucky there.
A nice pass from Zulo. Wark already has 5 assists and 1 goal on the year, 7 points total.
Fisk she just has a ton of experience. I mean, she's been with the England national team, the U15s, U16s, U17s. Now she's the captain of the U20 national team. I'm sure she's probably not the first time she's been frustrated with the referee, nor playing with a yellow card. But she's going to be a professional here and play smart and probably elevate her play.
And as a captain for this team, probably somewhat of what she was doing too was trying to stick up for some teammates who she thought were on the receiving end of some questionable calls in this second half.
Yeah, that's a great point. As a team leader, and she obviously was voted unanimously, they're looking to her, looking to see how to react to a tie game right now. This is probably not a situation they're used to.
They have not been in these spots very often at all this season or last season. Although it is a similar spot to what we saw these two teams in Columbia last year in 2017. Gabriella Coleman comes in, Michaela Waldner goes out, and we have a whistle and a foul called against South Carolina.
And that's what the referee's going to have to watch for. The emotions are running high. The late challenges, the little kicks after the ball's gone. And obviously this referee is not afraid to blow his whistle.
A free kick. And it appears as if Zerbal will handle the free kick. Gets it inside the 18, headed, and a collision just outside the 6-yard box, and Krasowski is able to get her gloves on it.
She came out strong and aggressive. You're going to love that from your keeper. She just found that ball and was not going to let the Bulldogs get on the other end of that.
And there were more white jerseys there than garnet jerseys. That was a risky move and a successful one from Krasowski. Under 30 to play in a tie match here in Starkville. College soccer triple header coming your way on Sunday, 1 Eastern on ESPNU. Ohio State will take on 21st ranked Northwestern. Then at 3 Eastern, switch over to the SEC network for number 19 Tennessee hosting Mississippi State. At 5 Eastern, go back to ESPNU as Kentucky will take on 13th ranked South Carolina. A triple header of college soccer all over the ESPN networks on Sunday. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. South Carolina on the attack had a sequence while we were doing the promo there that never quite materialized, but here they are again trying to go on the offensive. We have a whistle and a foul away from the ball. Well, the fouls.
Racking them up.
Yes. we had 5 and 4 were the foul totals at halftime. We've had 5 more called in the second half. So now we're even up 7 fouls apiece, 14 total in the match.
And neither team seems to be backing down.
South Carolina trying to get it in their attacking third.
And as we've seen, ever since that goal, South Carolina is looking to send more people into the box.
Mississippi State clears it. The Gamecocks had a brief window there and could not get a foot on the ball.
Well, it was a little push off in the box on Robichaux.
They may have also called offsides before that. I couldn't quite tell.
Actually, that might have been. I'm not sure.
But I saw what you saw. Was some physical play, but the referee blew the whistle.
A little bit before that.
Yes.
game has definitely spread out, and we have another foul.
And it
When
goes
there's
against
this many fouls, it's really hard to kind of to get a groove for either team. As you can see, I feel like the play is really choppy. They're just sending balls long, trying to get on the end, which really kind of allows for more fouls to happen.
And
More
Chris-
50-50 balls are being put out there right now.
And Christy, we saw in the first 4 minutes, maybe the first 2 minutes of the second half, McGilvery and Wark got into not a shoving contest, but they were knocking one another down to the ground over here on this far right side. And ever since then, it's as if the officials have said, "Okay, we're gonna tighten this thing up before it gets out of hand."
And I felt like the McGilvery incident, I felt like they were both going for the ball. They definitely were intertwined with each other and being physical, but they were both going for the ball. Some of these other fouls, I feel like people are they're paying more attention to kind of getting a hit in than trying to win the ball on both sides.
Carrasco slow to get up, so play has been stopped momentarily. And here's what happened.
I didn't see a lot in that.
Just got a cleat stuck in the ground, perhaps. She comes up limping. It appears she's saying she wants to stay in, and
I think she's still leading the team in minutes. So that is not a young lady that wants to come off the field.
And she has been one of, if not the best passer so far this year on the team for Mississippi State.
Yes, leading the team in assist.
I believe we have a final, correct, in Fayetteville. Arkansas has upset number 2 Texas A&M.
3-2.
Wow.
That is
shocker.
an upset.
Shocker.
Unranked Arkansas. I'm not sure what Texas A&M is at the latest polls, but as high as 2
As high
possibly.
as 2, yeah. Megan Henry comes in. McGilvery goes out for the moment for Mississippi State. For South Carolina, they will bring on Garris and will take out Zulo. Final in Oxford, 19th ranked Tennessee bounces back, and they defeat Ole Miss 2-0. There's the final. Arkansas 3, A&M 2. Wow. Upset in Fayetteville.
Oh.
Well, look at that score. That's in Lexington, where Florida has opened up a can on Kentucky. Second half, Alabama and Vandy are tied. No score yet between the Battle of the Tigers.
And a nice job by Florida to bounce back. I think they just lost to maybe Vanderbilt over the weekend.
And they've had a tough start overall.
I think a lot of injuries from what I'm hearing.
So they will, it appears as if they're going to take their record on the year to 5-6 if they can hold on to their 6-goal advantage. Magnus' daughter.
Rocket shot by...
Trying to send one in there, and DeCrane
Yeah, I'm
dove
not
against
sure.
the post.
Did DeCrane actually get, I know they're calling a corner. Did she get something on that?
She must have for them to.
Yes, she did get a touch. What a shot. I think she was a little upset with herself for leaving that set piece a little short and came in strong on that shot.
The corner from Magnus' daughter. Goes all the way to the other side of the 6. We have a whistle, and I believe a foul called against South Carolina.
I guarantee every time that whistle blows inside the 18, both coaches are nervous. Which way is it going to go?
I think all the players are too.
Looking at them.
We hear a whistle, and everyone just kind of freezes now.
Please point that way.
DeCrane boots it to midfield. And now we got another whistle. I think it was Malbranch. Got a little too physical there for the Bulldogs. Or was that?
Or maybe Coleman. Yeah, I think that's Coleman.
You're right.
I think she just came in a few minutes ago.
Under 24 minutes to go, tied game in Starkville.
I feel like the Bulldogs have actually done a decent job of flicking these balls on. They're until then they haven't really found that second ball. It's kind of fell to the Gamecocks defense until just then. I think Brooke McKee
got it to Farrington Bentel.
Yep.
And just inside the 18, she gave it a ride and too high. The freshman from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We've said it before, not tonight, but earlier in the season, nobody in the SEC has as many true freshmen as Mississippi State. 14 true freshmen on the roster, and many of them have received significant playing time all year long and tonight here in the home SEC opener.
They made strong impacts to this team, allowed them to be as deep as they are. I mean, as you saw it, I mean, Coach Anagnos changed up the starting lineup there for the second half, and obviously, you know, winning 2 PKs, it seemed to work, and now we have a different mix of girls. But they can provide a lot of different looks on this field with the number of talented players they have on their roster.
Throw in for South Carolina after the Bulldogs could not muster anything with their attempt. But right now, it is just really difficult for either team on set pieces with so much traffic and so much congestion.
Well, I mentioned in the first half, neither team is giving the other team any space.
Nothing.
It'll be interesting to see if a team does, you know, put a couple passes together, if they can open it out, break pressure, and create an opportunity for themselves.
You get the feeling as we near the 20-minute mark that it might be a breakdown on someone's or in someone's defense that ends up being the difference.
Absolutely. If you know, if something like who's going to capitalize on that chance? But I know this South Carolina defense is not known to make many mistakes. I mean, they're disciplined. They provide cover. Carrasco seems to be wincing a little bit still. She's switched over to this side recently.
We mentioned earlier that the Gamecocks are ranked as high as 6th in the polls, 13th in one, 6th in the other. The Bulldogs aren't ranked yet, but do have an RPI in the top 5, so RPI based to top 10 matchup.
Top 10 matchup, yes it is. Here's a ball over top. You have Coleman and Fisk battling it out. And I think Coleman's going to win a corner.
Indeed, she will. That's against one of, if not the best defender on the Gamecock side. The Bulldogs will use a sub. A couple of subs. Gamecocks will also bring in a sub. Waldner comes back on for the Bulldogs. Coleman goes off.
Yeah, and with the subbing rules in the second half, when you're allowed the re-entry, Coach Anagnos can keep a lot of these players fresh. Coming in, give a hard 10-15 minutes, and then get a sub.
Corner kick outside the 6, headed by Waldner, and then Malden tried to put a head on it as well and missed, but the Bulldogs should retain possession.
It's time for Mississippi State corner kick.
And it will result in another Bulldog corner kick. Yeah, that ball clearly off the foot of Harris. We haven't called Harris's name much. She came in along with Chang, the leading point scorer, goals and assists for South Carolina, and Harris has really not been much of a factor so far tonight. Again, the Bulldogs trying to get ahead on it and cannot hit it cleanly. South Carolina on the counter.
Looks like Riley Tanner looked to start that attack. Ended up going back with it.
South Carolina getting a little sloppy here with the passing.
Heads up play by by Malazi there, right there, though. She just came through 2 tackles under pressure by 2 Bulldogs. Very relieved probably to come up with that ball.
SEC football coming up on Saturday at noon. Kent State and Ole Miss live from Oxford. Then at 4 p.m., it's South Carolina at Vanderbilt live in Nashville. Then at 7:30, Arkansas at Auburn as they get together on the Plains in the SEC Saturday night primetime matchup presented by Holiday Inn Express. No one covers the SEC like the SEC Network does. You can stream it also live online or on your mobile device via the ESPN app. Under 18 to go here in Starkville. In what has been a wild second half. Gamecocks led 1-0 at the break. The Bulldogs received not 1 but 2 penalty kicks in the opening 10 minutes of the second half. And went 1 for 2 and have received the equalizer. And we're tied at 1, and after that ball, pinballs around for about 10 seconds. Offsides was the call.
Yeah, I mean, the Bulldogs could be winning at this point in time had they finished both their key PK opportunities. We've had a goalpost and a crossbar.
South Carolina's also had a shot that went off the crossbar. Both teams have taken advantage of some opportunities and have left some opportunities sitting on the table, I'm sure they feel like.
Yeah, unlucky giveaway by McKee right there. That looked a little bit dangerous.
That was almost inadvertent, but it was almost a knee to the head. Foul called against South Carolina. Not quite sure who the foul was called on.
I think it was on Riley Tanner, number 12. She's kind of been being their target.
That's now 12 fouls called in the second half, 21 fouls called total. 11 on Carolina, 10 on State.
And the Bulldogs have definitely come out this second half and done a better job of winning that second ball.
And offsides again is the call.
I think we've seen more just balls in the air and headers in this game than actually like on the ground passing the ball around. It's just been that kind of game tonight.
There's been way more space through the air than on the grass tonight. Another good defensive play. The run out for Farrington Bentel. And again, the nice defensive stop. South Carolina, 2 defenders there. That time leading the charge was Schaefer.
And I tell you, that's what I'm talking about. Look at this cover. That 49 is going back to the goal in case she gets beat, but then she's close enough to make a play on that ball if her teammate gets beat. That's the kind of covering that South Carolina has, and it's one reason they've been so successful in this 24-game winning streak in the SEC.
In the corner, tracking it down. Well, I couldn't tell who tracked it down.
Carrasco, she is still out there. Oh, I think it's Riley Tanner.
I think it is Tanner.
Oh, wait a minute. No, 22.
Thank you.
Ryan
Garris. We got somewhat of a obstructed view down here to our left, just because of the way the press box is designed. So when play goes down to that corner, I already can't see great, and I'm a little blind when it goes down there. Kristen Malbranch, a little slow getting up.
Yes.
Hey, there we are.
Well, she just created that. Oh, goodness. She just created that. She made that really strong tackle about a few minutes ago and maybe was feeling a little bit after that.
Just over 14 minutes left tied at 1. And both teams have given it their all so far, and it is beginning perhaps to take a physical toll on both sides. Both teams have subbed liberally all night long, especially the Bulldogs. Carolina has some numbers. They get it inside the 18. The defense, though, had time to recover, and the Bulldogs clear it.
And Bulldogs right there did a nice job of getting numbers behind their attack.
Garris perhaps took a little too much time right there.
I think her first touch let her down. It should have been more right at the goal. I think she could have maybe had a shot on frame, and instead her first touch took her away from the goal, so she was limited with her options. And you can just see the battling that's happening even before the ball gets there between these players out there.
And again, a foul call on foul called on Mississippi State. There we go. Magnus' daughter will handle the free kick. Yeah, Carrasco, the guilty party there. Shot towards the goal, not quite on goal, but it sails a little high and wide. And that will result in a goal kick for the Bulldogs. That was a quick move towards the net for South Carolina after that free kick. The Gamecocks have now had several possessions in the last couple of minutes down here.
I feel like the Gamecocks are looking like they have a little bit more life to them, a little bit more in their legs right now. And, there's a big difference between, the 3-0 loss that the Bulldogs are coming in this game and the 2-0 win against Tennessee that the Gamecocks, chasing a game can be a lot harder than having a game in hand. And maybe that's what we're seeing right here.
The Gamecocks trying to cross a pass, and I believe leaving it for Schaefer. No, it was not Schaefer, it was Zulo.
Yep, Zulo was in right there, and Carrasco did a nice job of making sure she did not get free, and she remained goal side. Excellent defending by Carrasco right there.
Marty Smith and Ryan McGee, a.k.a. the Marty and McGee TV show, will be on the SEC Network tonight, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. You can never get enough of the M&M Boys. Like everything else, you can see them live on the ESPN app as well from anywhere. That's the Marty and McGee show tonight, fueled by Gatorade. 11 minutes to go here in Starkville. South Carolina has been the aggressor the last 5 minutes or so.
The Bulldogs seem to have everybody back defensively. The Gamecocks were able to win another corner right here.
Bulldogs seemingly in survival mode right now.
I think they are.
A corner kick for the Gamecocks.
A short one, looking to get pressure.
Well, the Gamecocks were about to attempt a bicycle kick, it appeared.
Tell you, forwards will just about throw anything. Interesting call right there. I'm not sure.
They called a foul.
I don't know if we have a replay of that one, but no, they gave the corner kick to the Gamecocks, and I'm not sure that they weren't the last ones to have touched that. Yeah, I think that probably was not the correct call, but it happens.
South Carolina trying to get one towards the net. They can't do anything with that sequence yet. DeCrane falls on it. South Carolina had the numbers and had gotten behind the back line of MSU, and DeCrane gets the save.
And I don't think she was offsides. I think that looked like the Malden goal from earlier on this season where she just snuck through, caught the defense of the Bulldogs sleeping a little bit and not running through with the runners, not tracking.
And that was one of the Gamecocks' better players in Barr, That snuck in there. 9 to go, still tied at 1. It's been a while since the Bulldogs have had a true scoring opportunity.
They need to do something
Ooh.
up top.
We got
to
an injury
give
here.
their defenders a little bit of a break.
Sorry to interrupt. I
You're
apologize.
good. I don't know if that was McKee.
Yeah, McKee held up.
That was McKee. I think is it her knee or is she cramping? I'm not sure. I hope she's all right.
The senior.
There are definitely subs at midfield, so potentially get her a break.
Yeah, if McKee didn't even try to run after that pass, and if that ever happens, you know something's not right. So 3 subs will come on for the Bulldogs. And we'll get it all cleaned up here for you momentarily once we learn exactly who came on. Tyrell came on for Henry.
I see McGilvery back out there.
And Carnley
Here's a
as
foot
well.
race. Wow, Mal Branch did a nice job to just get a touch on that because
Under 8 to play.
say because Barr, from a few seconds ago, Barr was just about to run through on that. And I think had Mal Branch on pace, and Mal Branch did a great job of just toe poking that back to DeCrane. Let's see if
Carrasco
these
now.
subs can add a little bit of spark too.
And Carrasco just led her teammates too far on that one.
You got Menigo Carnley. Look. Oh, that's a handball. What? Waldner with a phenomenal
Wow.
play right there. Absolutely unexpected. Reminded me of this.
And Krasowski not happy at all. I think she's unhappy, though, with her teammates.
She sees. I think she's upset she grabbed it. But, I mean, the instinct of a goalkeeper.
She's the goalie, right.
Not remembering quite where she was. Had she not grabbed it, though, I don't know that it wouldn't have ended up in the back of her net with Waldner being right there. So
The individual play of Waldner now giving the Bulldogs a chance yet again.
sorry, you don't see that very often.
No,
I was
you
a
don't.
little
That was
astonished when I was seeing it.
That's right off the wall of defenders set up by South Carolina. They defended that well. Should result in a corner kick now for Mississippi State. That was Malden who took the shot.
You never know when you can find a break in the wall or if they move. And I think if that would have beaten the wall, I think that it might have found the bottom left corner of the goal.
Carrasco now on the corner kick. That's not going to be useful. Sails out of bounds. So South Carolina dodges one after the yellow card is called on the handball of the keeper, Krasowski. An odd play.
Barr's done really well for the Gamecocks up top. She definitely creates things up there.
The Bulldogs trying to send one in over the top, and getting back defensively is Schaefer. Schaefer's done a nice job defensively for the Gamecocks, especially here in half number 2.
Absolutely, and we know how fast McGilvery can be. She can get on the end of a lot of things, and she did a great job of seeing that through.
A throw in from Zerbel coming up. Just over 5 to play. Crunch time here in Starkville. Could overtime be in our future? Throw in goes just inside the 18 and clear by the Gamecocks, who have a long run out. Magnus' daughter working against Mal Branch. And Mal Branch gets the deflection.
A lot of people forward.
And the Gamecocks miss wide left.
Yeah, they settled for that shot out wide. I don't know that that was kind of what they could have gone for. They had a couple of numbers up there that they should have maybe looked to possess a little bit more.
And both teams look exhausted right
do.
now. Missouri and Georgia have gone final in a draw, a scoreless draw. Tennessee victorious in Oxford tonight, 2-0. Arkansas over Texas A&M in a shocker, 3-2 in Fayetteville. Final, Florida destroys Kentucky, 6-0. Second half action, Vandy holding on to a 1-goal lead over Alabama. South Carolina again on the attack, and again the back line, the Bulldog defense is there. Still no score, by the way, in that Auburn-LSU matchup.
McGilvery and Carnley, what a job of connecting some really hard passes. And let's see if McGilvery, she loves to take people on 1v1.
McGilvery keeps it in. Crossing pass headed away by South Carolina.
And there you go with Waldner just working so hard.
And a foul called against South Carolina. Guilty party this time, the Gamecocks' Luciano Zulo.
I'm hoping that's just she's just cramping up in her calves.
That's what it looks like.
That was a hard.
The way she's
I'm
trying
glad to see the girl that was also in that collision is up and walked away, because that was a hard collision. When Waldner's coming full speed at you.
It has been an incredibly physical match. And there you see you can almost see the muscles in the calves of Waldner seizing up a little bit as both sides have extended a lot of energy tonight.
And then they turn around, and Mississippi State has Tennessee on Sunday.
Just a little too high. Sub coming in for both sides.
And as you just saw, that set piece sailed over, the corner kick didn't even come into play. That, man, when you're tired and you're exhausted, to do the things that you would think would just be very simple for these girls, it's just difficult. Especially the last 5 minutes of a hard-fought match.
How big of a role does mental fatigue also play when you're at the tail end of a match like this? South Carolina trying to corral it inside the 18. And a nice defensive play yet again from Mississippi State. Malbranch was there, and she's slow to get up.
There's the goal scorer, Nia Johnson, on the ball. A young lady that we haven't seen a ton of tonight, but is so talented, Manigo Carnley. She has provided a spark in previous games for the Bulldogs, and maybe she'll be the ticket tonight.
2 minutes in regulation.
Nice movement by the Gamecocks.
Eskew finds Chang.
And Chang, we haven't said her. The Bulldogs have done a nice job of not allowing her to see the ball at her feet as much as she did in the first half. I felt like a lot of the play in the first half, the dangerous opportunities that were created for the Gamecocks, all went through Chang. And this half, she's been around, but not just quite as evident.
Miranda Carrasco got the job done defensively that time, known for her offense, but did a good job defensively in that situation. Clock continues to run, 90 seconds left in regulation. And the Crane will take her time now with this goal kick. South Carolina wins that battle for the moment. Can either side mount an offensive in the final minute? We're going to find out.
Happy to see Brooke McKee back in.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the ball with McGilvery. We know she likes to run it. Nice job by the Gamecocks to shut that down. I think both teams are just kind of
exhausted.
and hitting it forward, not necessarily to anybody in particular, just in the direction of the goal they want to score on right now.
Just hoof it and hope, right?
What a touch.
30 seconds remaining. But both teams' defenders have done a fantastic job tonight.
The question is, can Zerbal run it down and get this in the last 15 seconds?
Last opportunity in regulation for Mississippi State.
This will be it. 10 seconds to go.
Zerbal gets it in.
And Robichaud with a shot, little high.
As time expires, end of regulation. And we're going to overtime between Mississippi State and South Carolina. We'll keep things right here. And Christy, the second 45 minutes were the most physical 45 minutes of soccer that I've seen in any of the matches that we've covered this year as we go over the overtime rules. In the regular season, 2 10-minute periods, sudden victory, no re-entry in first or second OT periods, and it's still tied after the second OT. The game will end in a tie. Those are the NCAA regular season overtime rules. Your thoughts, Christy, on that half number 2?
Wow, just very physical.
Yes.
And 2 PKs given. We've had 3 PKs in this match. That right there, I'm just, but I think the referee had to rein it in a little bit because these girls were going after it and nobody was backing down. A lot, obviously a lot of long balls, a lot of flicks, which just allow for a lot of 50-50 balls. So a lot of two teams going at it really hard and just neither one showing any mercy.
Time for a break. We'll come back and we will go to the start of the first overtime, tied at 1 here in Starkville between the Gamecocks and the Bulldogs.
At Regions Bank, we're here to help you move your life forward. But managing money correctly can be tough, especially for college students. That's why we
Both goals coming via penalty kicks. 1 for the Gamecocks in the first half and 1 for the Bulldogs in the second half. Lauren Chang in the first half, Nia Johnson in half number 2. So after about a 5-minute break, here we go. You try to rest the legs, get some hydration. And then here we go with the overtime period. Sudden victory is in play, so if anyone scores in this 10-minute period, the game is over. If we are scoreless in this first 10-minute period, we'll head to a second 10-minute period. Same rules apply. If we're still tied after that 10-minute period, then we'll end the game in a tie. First overtime game this year for Mississippi State. And also the first OT game for South Carolina. So both teams in some uncharted territory here in this overtime period. We have flip sides of the field, so the Bulldogs now attacking to our left, the Gamecocks to our right. And we saw in the first minute quickly a pseudo attack, if you will, from Mississippi State. The Bulldogs trying to get on the offensive. Farrington Bentel unable to get there. Magnus Daughter, fantastic sliding stop. Or was it?
I think it was Grace. I think it was Grace Fisk.
It was Fisk. You're right.
Her, just tracking that ball down, doing everything she can to not let Farrington Bentel get on the end of that.
The young lady who we spotlighted in the open, preventing a run out for South Carolina. Right in front of the net, Grozowski goes up and makes the stop. Lots of traffic right in front of the net.
Malden did a nice job of just trying to put that ball back into play. And here we have the Gamecocks at the other end.
A
And here
mistimed.
the ball ends up at Chang's feet.
And that time, just a simple airmail.
Yeah, I
of the
bet
ball.
Magnus' daughter is going to wish she would have called for a leave right there. And maybe she did. Obviously, we can't hear her up here in the booth. But she was right behind her teammate that took that shot. I think she would have had a better look on goal.
It seemed as if the crossing pass from Wark did not go exactly where her teammates were expecting it to. McKee trying to get possession, has the ball taken away.
Nice move by Carrasco. Dangerous ball, but Fisk finds it, her head on the end of that one to clear it out. So solid back there.
Malden now for the Bulldogs. McKee.
I like when the Bulldogs find McKee's
In the back of the net! Holy cow! Mississippi State out of nowhere scores the winning goal. And Mississippi State has ended the streak of South Carolina. A 2-1 victory in overtime. And Mississippi State has handed the Gamecocks their first conference loss in 2 years.
And McGilvery, what an unbelievable shot from her. 2 freshmen tonight scored to lead this Mississippi State team into a marquee victory. Question was asked, are they contenders or are they pretenders this year? And I think Mississippi State might be contenders.
We saw the Arkansas Razorbacks pull off an upset in Fayetteville. The Bulldogs, they may not call it an upset, but it sure feels like one in this moment. What a shot from Zakira McGilvery.
What a ball by Brooke McKee with the outside of her foot to play McGilvery in. Brooke McKee drew both PKs tonight and then just provided the assist to the game-winning goal in overtime against potentially a top 10 rival.
First victory over a ranked team of any kind in 3 years. And it comes against the defending conference champs and puts an end to the Gamecocks' 24 match unbeaten streak in regular season SEC play. Mississippi State goes to 8-1, 1-1 in conference. South Carolina falls to 7-2, 1-1 in the SEC. For Christy Reif, I'm Anthony Craven. So long from Starkville. Your final score of Bulldogs 2, Gamecocks 1 in overtime. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of the SEC on ESPN.
And that's that connection that the Volunteers hope to see. And that's that connection that the Volunteers hope to see grow, is that those two players start to find each other. Gilroy to Shaw. And
And the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. The Gamecocks ranked as high as 13th in one poll, number 6 in the other, taking on